Now, I know you eventually got Letterman, and and you said earlier it was only Carson back in the day, and then Letterman after Carson retired, Letterman was like the stand-up gig. There was
Yeah.
Leno, but Letterman was the gig. So how long were you in your career till you got Letterman? What was the process for you to get that show? Because it's not like Letterman put comics on every night. It wasn't
No.
easy to get. So how did you get the show? I mean, how long were
I'm
you doing comedy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm terrible in terms of time. I'm really bad with like I have very little sense of time. But it was like, wow, when did Letterman go off the air? That's a really good. Like I haven't thought about this in a long time because it's just been so. Uh, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but I've been doing comedy over like over 10 to 15 years at that point. And I remember. I don't exactly even remember all of the details of it, but I remember Eddie Brill was booking it. And, I went to him and I said, I think I have a set that would be really good. And so he looked at it and he said, yeah, this is good. Now we'll work on it. And we worked on it for a long time. Like he would give you notes and say, cut this and cut that and cut this. And I had this bit that was really killer called What Women Want, which was sort of got me a lot of kind of, it was like a well-known piece. It was like this long bit that I used to close with. And that's sort of what got me Letterman. And so I we worked on that, we honed that set. And the funny part is there was one line that got cut when I did my Letterman set. And if you watch the Letterman set, you can see me just about going to do that joke because, and they said, and I had that pivot because it was got right at like, it was about what all the contradictory things that women want. Women want a man who's ambitious, an achiever, who's successful both professionally and financially, who's not materialistic. Women want a man who is solid, steady, consistent, and reliable, who is fun, unpredictable, and spontaneous. Yeah, women want a strong-willed, decisive man who takes a stand, sticks to his guns, and doesn't waver, as long as he's flexible, open-minded, and can admit when he's wrong. Okay, yeah. And there was like all these really things. I worked really hard on it with a thesaurus. There was like 2 years of working on that bit till it was like really killer. And I think there was one line that said, "Women want a bit of a bad boy, a man with an edge, a little bit of mystery, even a little hint of danger, who loves kids." Okay. And it had nothing to do with pedophilia or anything. It just had to do with like a guy who's like a bad guy. And yeah, but he's also a family man, like it was like, who's a real family man. And they said the bad boy who loves kids, they didn't want that on the air. So I think I had to cut that. But if you watch the show, I think I'm just about to say it. And I remember that I couldn't do it because it's, you're taping the thing. But I just remember, and that was such a thrill because obviously Carson, Letterman, that show was just so epic, and I mean, there's nothing like it. You watch it now, how amazingly funny that show was, and how creative it was, and how just, I mean, against the grain the Letterman show was, and the people that he had on, the wacky kind of comedy that he did. Carson was sort of more mainstream, and Letterman was sort of, and I loved Carson, and I would have loved to have done that show, but Letterman was sort of the guy that I would watch everybody when Leno was on, or, the guys that would watch the show. And Kinnison was on, and Gilbert Gottfried was on. You would just watch Letterman. And when Jay used to do when Jay Leno used to do what's your beef? Oh, I love the what's your beef thing. It really bothered me. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Back when Leno was so edgy and so funny and great jokes. And I remember I was such a comedy nerd. That was the other thing. I was obsessed with stand-up from a very early age. And I just would watch Letterman.
Coop's Comedy Corner.